Hello, Clayton again. Today I'm going to show you how to do a chicken fricasse. First you're going to need a whole cut up chicken. You're going to need about 3 ounces of onion, some thyme, little stalk of celery, some parsley stems, bay leaf, your cheesecloth that you got for the stock, some butcher's twine. Then you're going to need about 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream with 2 eggs and some lemon juice. Then you're also going to need about 1.5 quarts to 2 quarts. I mean, that's just approximate what you're going to need of your stock that you made. And 3 ounces of flour, some nutmeg and pepper, white pepper, and some kosher salt, of course, and about 3 ounces of melted butter. This is pretty easy to do. It's a braising technique. What we're going to do is we're going to do the chicken on the bone, and that's why I showed you how to deconstruct the chicken. You don't have to debone it for this. You leave the bones on. You get it to a nice little heat, and I forgot my handy spatula. Okay. First, throw in your onion and your chicken. Now I cut this chicken up. I cut off the thigh, the leg separately, and then for the breast I cut them in 2, and I left the bones on everything. I didn't take the chicken tenders out of the chicken breast either. So all that meat's there. Now I'm gonna take my cutting board and put it away so you guys can see a little bit better. The liaison will actually come later. When I finish cooking this, it'll be off camera. I'll tell you how to do it when I'm nearing the end. Right now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna sear these. You don't want to get them too colored. You don't want them to have much color, but you want to sear the meat on there. You want to sear everything about it. Sear every points of contact. But you don't want to get it browned or dark at all. This is just another use of your chicken stock. And then I think probably either Thursday or the beginning of next week sometime, or maybe this weekend, I will do butternut squash soup and show you the very end of it. And then, but still, I'm going to make a gallon of the soup, so I'll show you that. And I'm still going to have more stock. So I'm going to have to come up with something else to use the stock for, or I might just use it on my own for something else. I don't know. But I'm just showing you all the different ways you can use stock. And that's just from the stock we made about, not too long ago. That I showed you how to do. See how it's getting some color, but not browning. I don't want it browned. I just want to sear it all off. Also, you'll notice the bones are starting to bleed a little bit because it's taking all that juices out of them. Leave the skin on, by the way, because the skin will add a little bit of flavor. Okay. This usually takes about if you're cutting the chicken up from scratch and you get a little quicker at doing that. That takes about 3-4 minutes at most, because you're not taking the bones out this time. And then about 6-7 minutes of getting everything else together. And then it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to actually cook it once it's been seared. So, and I've done this in about 4 minutes. So, it's a pretty quick dish. And you have it done before, a loved one comes home, or if your pregnant fiance is really telling you, "I'm starving, I need food," you can get it done pretty quickly for her. Okay, I'm kind of talking from experience on this one because she's kind of hungry. So I'm doing this to show you how to do it. Plus, I'm doing it because baby needs to eat. Well, I don't mean baby, I mean baby needs to eat. So, and she wants she's been having a hankering for some roast potatoes, so I might just show you how to do roasted potatoes after this, because, well, it's a quick, simple thing to do. It takes about 45 minutes also to cook, so I might do that real quick after this, or I might do it another time, but she really wants roasted potatoes. And ever since she found out she was pregnant, she's been like, potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. And I'm like, got you, hon. I'm making potatoes for you. Like, every couple days, it's potatoes. I mean, I made a roast not so long ago with a bunch of potatoes, and it was gone quick. I mean, the potatoes were the first thing she went after. I don't know, she's just craving that starch, but I'm going off on another tangent. Okay, so here it's seared. I mean, you can tell it's not completely cooked right here if you look under the skin, but you know, for the most part, it's seared. Now, the flour goes on it. You got, oh, I'm getting a mess, aren't I? You got 3 ounces of butter. This is 3 ounces of flour. So what we are making is called a roux, and it is used to thicken things. And we'll be using the same kind of technique for our soup, only we are going to be using vegetables instead of, you know, meat. Okay, so see how it's all like kind of incorporated the flour into the fats. Now it's made kind of a roux around it. Now you're going to want to cook it for about 2 more minutes, but we're going to turn that down because we don't want any color, and we don't want it to become a brown roux. We want it to be a blonde roux or a white roux, and so we're going to keep it that color. I mean, but we also want to cook the chicken a little bit more. Now that we've seared it, it's good, but now we want to make sure it's going to, you know, cook all the way. The reason why I only used about 3 ounces of butter and 3 ounces of flour is I'm only going to use about 1.5 quarts. Now, the ratio for a good roux is a pound of roux for every gallon of liquid that you're going to thicken. And since I'm going to use about 1.5 quarts, 4 quarts in a gallon, so that means you would need how many ounces of roux? Well, there's 16 ounces in a pound. So you'd need 4 ounces of roux for a quart. Now, if you're doing 1.5 quarts, you're going to need 6 ounces, because, you know, half of 4 is 2, and so 2 to 4, you know, 6 ounces of roux. Now, to find out how much roux you make, it's 3 ounces. It's half and half, so it's half butter, half flour. So, in other words, that's why we needed 3 ounces of flour, 3 ounces of butter. See, cooking involves math. I know people get scared, but it's not that hard of math. Now, if you're going into, you know, other parts of cooking, like restaurants and stuff, then you're going to need more higher math. But for measurements and stuff, come on, everyone knows how to multiply and divide. So, but yes, cooking does involve math. That's why I do everything by weight. And the only thing I don't do by weight is liquids, because liquids are always different weights for some reason. So you have to do fluid ounces. Okay, that's about 2 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to use enough stock to cover the chicken. Now let's see if that's enough, because hello. All right. Nope, not quite. Okay, well, I needed about, yeah, it was about 1.5 quarts. I was right. Okay, now, there's that. We put it on a simmer. We're going to bring this up to a simmer, so we can do it as high as we want right now. Once it gets to a simmer, put it down as low as you can and leave it bubbling at a simmer. Now, same thing with making the stock. We're going to make a sachet. If you watch the other video, you'll know that a sachet always involves the cheesecloth and the butcher's twine. But this time we're going to use bay leaf, like I like. We're going to use parsley, and we're going to use that celery that I used. And this time we're going to use some more thyme. But we're going to omit the clove and the pepper, because we're putting in pepper later. And clove, we don't want that flavor in there because I want nutmeg this time. And clove with chicken, it doesn't really go well together. I mean, there are some weird flavor combinings out there, but clove and chicken just doesn't appeal to me. Not when it comes to actually eating it. Maybe making the stock, but clove and pork, on the other hand, goes great together. Now, we're going to do just like our stock. We're going to make a little loop, put it in there, and put the loop right here. So, then you can either cover it, which I am going to do, and let it sit there for about 35 to 45 minutes after it's come up to a simmer. Now at the end of that, you're going to take the chicken out. You're going to put the chicken aside. Then you're going to take this liaison, and we're going to take a ladle, and we're going to slowly incorporate it in there, whisking at the same time. And we're going to bring this up to a high enough temperature that when we put it back into the sauce, it's not going to turn to scrambled eggs, which would be kind of nasty. Anyway, once we do that, then we're going to add the nutmeg, the pepper, and then we're going to season it with salt, because everything needs salt. If you don't have salt, it's not going to have any flavor at all. We're going to put that all together, and then we're going to heat it back up just a little bit, not up to boiling or anything, just to get it heated. And then we're either going to put the chicken back in it and serve it from there, or we could put the chicken on a plate and serve it as a sauce drizzled on it. But the main thing is we're using a braising technique. That's a low moist heat that you do for an extended period of time. But since it's very easy meat and it doesn't have much connective tissue, then you only have to do it for about 30 to 45 minutes, like I said. With bigger cuts of meat, this is the same technique you would use for maybe a roast, which is kind of an oxymoron for a cut of meat, because you don't roast a roast, right? As any housewife or any cook knows, you actually cook it in liquid, which is actually braising. So you braise a roast, which I don't know where they got the name roast, but that's what you do. So this is just one cooking technique. Eventually I will get to frying, which everyone loves. I will do that eventually. I will also go to roasting, actual roasting. I will also go maybe to steaming. I'll show you how to poach something. I'm going to go through all the different cooking techniques because it's good to know them all. But you know, this is almost the end of my stock series, and it's been kind of fun. Next week, like I said, either the end of this week, beginning of next week, I'll do the butternut squash soup. And then the beginning of November, the first week, I'm going to show you how to make a turkey in under 4 hours. I'm going to show you how to do a turkey in about, an hour and a half, something like that. But it's going to be quick. So, like I said last time, you can do all your different stuff and still have time to do the turkey. So, that's what I'm going to do. And I would show you the whole process of this. I've kind of explained it. Like I said, 30 to 45 minutes. Then liaison, bring it up a little bit more. Add your rest of your spices and season it. And then serve it on the chicken or with the chicken. And that's all you need to know. So this is Clayton. Until next time, see you later.